Hey guys, this is Angela. Welcome back to the channel. We're Broken Ground Patio Stead and we grow in small spaces. Now, I'm out here today and I am going to plant some carrots. Some more carrots. We planted some the other day. When was that? It was earlier in the month. I think it was the 8th or the 9th. Somewhere around there. We planted some carrots in another type of container. And when I get finished planting these carrots, I'll take you around on the other side and show you where they are now. Because with carrots, it can take anywhere from 10 to 25 days for them to germinate and come up. So it's a thing about patience. But I'm out here with a different container. It is like a 25-gallon, maybe a 20-gallon pot. And it is quite round. And I've got two of them that I have been planting carrots in for years. So what we'll do today is plant some carrots here. This is where I plant my long carrots. On the other side, they're the shorter carrots because they're in a shorter container. But this one can take the long carrots because I tried it last year and did that grid on there, and this pot is where I got the biggest, sweetest carrots from. So, I'm gonna do it again. And in this pot, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make our grid. I've got my water here. Thank you to my daughter Shonda and Dana. They always indulge me in my garden. And this stool that I'm sitting on, that's one of the gifts, and that's one of the best gifts, is to be able to plant in a comfortable position, because sometimes it takes a while. Okay, I got the wrong instrument to do this, but I'm going on. I'll show you what I'm doing. There's my pot, and I'm making that grid like I did on the other side. Okay, so we got that one side down. It's just like slicing into brownies or something, because we only want that seed to be a 1/4 inch. Let me make sure, 1/4 inch. It is okay. It does not say. Yes, it has to say. Wait a minute, I got another package. Now see this carrot. Can you see that one? Now this one says 10 to 25 days to germinate. So it takes carrots a little longer, and they like water. So the better you get them water, the quicker they'll come up. Okay, let me finish the grid. Okay. Let's see what I got here. My hand may do it better. Sometimes I'll wear gloves out and sometimes I don't. But we've got a lot of pollen around here, and it is a windy day here in Las Vegas. I am in zone 9, and I can plant the things that 9AU plants also. Just be right next to Arizona. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this. Okay, and then, I told you that most of the time when I'm planting, I like to plant with a chopstick because it makes just a little hole. And I usually have this marked out. I think all the marking has come out, but it starts at a half inch. So that's where I want to be. Well, it says a quarter inch, so that's where I want to be, right below that half inch mark. And this makes it easy to make the hole. Okay, so this is also what I do for each grid mark. I make a little hole there. Okay, we're gonna have a little hole here, here. Okay, you see what I'm doing? Making a little hole. I hope I can see them when I get back to a hole. Okay, it is unseasonable. I've got long sleeves on today because the wind is blowing, but it was like 52 degrees this morning, so that's a big chill after you've had 90 and 100-degree days. But the next few days it's going to be in the low 80s, so that's a treat because generally May starts warming up and hanging in the 90s. And the low 100s into June. I tell people, if you're coming to Las Vegas, don't come in July. July is so hot. It is so hot here in July. But, they got all types of places where you can stay inside. They want to keep you in the casinos. And some might say, Angela, I bet you be in them casinos all the time. No, I do not. I don't have nothing for the casinos. I'll tell you, Las Vegas is built off losers. That is the truth. They're built off losers. Okay, I'm gonna take my little girly gloves off because I like to feel the seed. Okay, let's do some pelleted seeds. And these are just the hybrid carrot. Okay, this is the type of seed. We call it pelleted seed. And it has a little coating on it. Just makes the seed easier to plant. I'll show you what they look like. And how many pellets should I sow? Okay, with the pelleted, see what the pelleted seeds look like. Nice coating, which will dissolve off. Okay, let's start right there, and I just drop them in. Some of this stuff looks like potting soil. Okay, we're getting there. Now my thing is each carrot has its own space. So when I sow the seeds this way, they're not crowded. Now I have kind of broadcasted carrots before and it didn't work too well. Not for me. I got a bunch of strings the first time I started sowing carrots. But now I get actual carrots and some huge ones at that. Okay, I think we've got, if we haven't got it covered, we got it mostly covered. And then I'm gonna put one there. Some of them may have two in it, but if I need to thin it, I will. Okay, this kind of, okay, there's a little spot. And there's a spot. Okay, so what we're going to do is gently cover these seeds. Gently, very gently. Because you don't want to push them too far down in the soil. Because that sunlight needs to get to the seed. And what we got here in Vegas is sunlight. Okay, check that out. Okay, we about got them. I still got a few more to cover up. And what I will do is from this other pot, I'll take a little soil just to make sure they're covered nicely. Okay. Get them covered. And I usually kind of lightly pat some seed just to stabilize it and keep it from moving. Okay. Now, what we gotta do is water it in. Remember, my soil was already moist. I always plant in a moist environment. So the germination process is that outer shell has to open up because the seed is actually planted, and that's the portion that germinates. That's the portion that comes up. It's in the center of the seed. So, you know, we gotta pay attention to how we're planting. Now, I'm gonna put a stake in this one. It tells me what date and time, what date I did on. So that way we'll know where we are in the germination process, because I put the name of whatever the food is, and then I'll put the date to, like, today's date, and I'll flip it on the back and I'll put how many days it takes to germinate. And see, what I'll put on this one is 10 to 25 days it takes for before I will see it. So, and that's what I want to do. I want it to stay in the ground, get nourished, and come up a healthy seed. Okay. And that's our carrots in a round container. Rinse my hands off a little bit. I'm gonna take you over here and show you the progress of the tomatoes. Not the tomatoes, but the carrots. And this is my squash. This is beginning to be a food forest. This is squash. These are the Yukon Gold potatoes that are growing in those buckets. And I got straight neck, crook neck, and patty pan. And the plants all looking healthy. They're looking healthy.
Angela,
Yeah.
sausage and biscuits, and then Colts.
Okay, here we go. These are tomatoes. Look at my comfrey plant. That thing explodes. This is kind of like my spice section. My herb section, I have oregano. There's some thyme. My cilantro is seeding out because I want a space for medicinal and the herbs like I like to cook with. Now, I don't really care for cilantro. I grow it for my nephew, but it had seeded out. It had seeded out, and the seeds is actually dried. So I just took the plant and shook the seeds. So we're gonna see. And these are my tomatoes. These are all Roma tomatoes. They have gone wild. Now, I was hoping that these vines wouldn't grow 9 feet tall like they did last year. But looks like too late for that. But the vines are so loaded, Dwayne have had to tie them twice because the stakes are not holding them because there's so many tomatoes on it. This is my string bean bed. This is one of them. They're already blooming, and I've got radishes. I plant radishes in a lot of my beds. My brother-in-law likes them, so I just stick them in there, and some of them don't take but 15 days. So, and when they're ready, I just pull them up and take it to them. That's my crazy aloe vera. Here is another string bean bed. It's one plant that's already coming up. These are pole beans. And over there I've got onions, I got sugar snap peas, and I've got cucumbers gone wild. Okay, I'm making it over there. This is literally a food forest. And my husband has Tabasco